Hi Flaunter, congrats on purchasing your Fit2Flaunt dance pole and becoming the newest member of the Flaunter community. In this video, I'm gonna go over everything you need to know to install your pole and to maintain it. I've already taken all of my pieces out of the box, so let's go over everything very quickly. Before ordering your pole, you should have already measured your ceiling to know if you need any additional. So here we have our bottom base plate. So this is the plate that's gonna be attached to the floor, and it has a slit in it, so that's how you know it's for the bottom. And the top base plate has a hole in it right here. We have our spinning mechanism. So this is responsible for your pole rotating from spin to static. So once the pole is installed, all we'll have to do is rotate the sleeve to switch between the two. We have our 10-inch extension, 5-inch extension, our adjustment rod cover. So you know this is the cover because it has threading here. We have our A pole, and A pole has the height adjuster. So that's how you know it's A pole. And then we have our B pole. So included in your pole kit is also a toolkit. So in your toolkit, you'll have your installation manual, and inside your manual, you'll have instructions. And you'll also have a QR code to download the Fit2Flaunt app for step-by-step instructions on how to learn pole dancing right from home. We have a tool to help us tighten our locking nut. We have our little Allen wrench, and we have our silicone rings. So let's get started with putting our pole together. I'm so excited, and I know you are too. We're gonna start by putting our A and our B pole together. So get one of the silicone rings, because these rings are super important. They make sure that when you want to separate your Fit2Flaunt dance pole, that you're able to do it and that the pieces don't get stuck together. So you're gonna take one of the silicone rings, and if it's not on here, which mine isn't, you're just gonna add a silicone ring right onto the B pole. So now I can attach my A pole to it. Perfect. All right, Flaunter, so now we have our A and our B pole assembled. Again, before you ordered your pole, you should have already measured your ceiling to know if you need any additional extensions. My ceiling is 9 feet 3 inches, so I need the 20-inch extension. That means I will not be using the 10-inch or the 5-inch extension that is included in the kit. If you're unsure about which extensions you need, there's also a height chart in your installation manual. So I'm gonna check my 500 extension, and it already has the silicone ring, so I don't need to put it. Now, because it's an extension, I know it's going at the bottom of the pole. So you'll assemble the extensions from biggest to smallest, and they're always added at the end of the pole. So let's attach the 500 extension. Now we want to take our adjustment rod cover and add it to our pole. So you want to make sure that the threading is pointing upwards, because this is going to screw onto the top of our A pole. So again, threading goes in first. I'm going to slide that down. And now we are going to add our spinning mechanism to the pole. This is added at the end of the extension. My spinning mechanism already has a silicone ring on it, so I'm just gonna attach it to my extension. Oh my gosh, we're getting so close. So now we're gonna add our top and bottom base plates. So I'm grabbing the bottom base plate. It's the one with the slit in it, and I'm gonna attach it to the bottom of my spinning mechanism. And for my top base plate, pole, so that will go at the top of the pole. Okay, so now our pole is ready to be installed. It's assembled. Now it's time to get your ladder or your step stool and your leveler, and we're gonna put the pole up. All right, Flaunters, so our Fit2Flaunt dance pole is assembled. Now it's time to install it. Now, I've been installing dance poles on my own for over 10 years, so I feel very comfortable to install the pole on my own. I recommend having someone to assist you with installing your pole, especially if it's the first time. The first thing we want to do is make sure that we rotate the sleeve and that our pole is on spin mode. Next, you want to make sure you have your level before going up, because the pole needs to be completely leveled for it to function properly. All right, the moment we've been waiting for, it's installation time. Make sure you have your 2 tools that were in the pole kit. And you have your level. I'll be using a level on my phone from an app that I downloaded. There are tons of free level apps that you can utilize if you don't have a level at home. All right, Flaunters, so remember, before you install your pole, you should have already located where your ceiling beam is and marked it off. So I've already located and marked off where my ceiling beam is, and I'm installing my pole directly under it. So the first thing we want to do is rotate this top piece here, because this is going to allow our adjustment rod to get taller so that our pole will touch the ceiling. So that's step 1. We just want the pole resting on the ceiling so that we can let it go. Now we're going to grab our level and we can adjust the pole until we find the spot where the pole is leveled. So now I'm going to tighten it again a little and checking on all sides to make sure that my pole is leveled. So now that I know my pole is leveled, I'm going to continue rotating this sleeve. Because my pole is on spin mode, I have to make sure that I'm holding onto the pole while I rotate it so that the adjustment rod is getting taller and the pole is getting tighter. And very quickly, you'll be able to feel that it starts to get a little harder to turn. So we're not done yet. So right now, we just want to make sure that the pole is straight, it's level, so we're going to come down and check the pole. So now that we have our pole leveled, we've tightened this so that our pole is firmly against the ceiling, we're going to come down and put our pole on static mode. Remember, we were doing this with the pole on spin mode. Switching your Fit2Flaunt dance pole from spin to static is easier than ever. All you do is rotate your sleeve and your pole will go from spin to static within a few seconds. And now we're on to the final few steps. You're almost there, Flaunters. So our pole is on static mode. I'm gonna slide this locking nut down because there's a hole inside of the adjustment rod. I'm going to place this tool inside of the hole, and now I'm going to hold my pole and rotate even more. So as you can see, it's still spinning. This is going to help make sure that my pole is really secured on my ceiling. So this is why it's very important to make sure you're installing your pole under a supporting ceiling beam, because you have to make sure it's tight enough to remain secure. So now, oh wow, yeah, that's really good. So now this locking nut, this is a very important step. I'm going to slide it down, and then now I'm going to use the tool that came in my toolkit to secure it. So I'm going to tighten it even more. Yes, perfect. So now my locking nut is tight. For the last step, I'm going to screw my adjustment rod cover onto the pole. Now that my pole is installed, I'm going to do the pull test to make sure that my pole does not move. And there you have it, Flaunters, your Fit2Flaunt pole fully installed.